Tim Pool in the run from the no-go zone and police escort from his famous documentary was fake. Wait, what? 1 hour video? No shot am I watching this whole thing. I also hate this guy.
Line. And last night in Sweden.
That jump-started his career. So, why was Last Night in Sweden never made?
Like, I don't know what you expect to happen here. There's just a bunch of people walking around with some old people shopping. If I were to compare this to Chicago, I would laugh.
It was boring. Oh my god, I hated watching it. It was also boring from the standpoint of drumming up anti-immigrant hysteria, so much so that Paul Joseph Watson had to just straight up make lies up about it like this.
There was a Lebanese shopkeeper in Malmo who is an immigrant himself. He wants to move back to Lebanon. You ever plan on going back to Lebanon?
To live there?
Yeah. No. Sweden is better or what?
Yeah, it's the best country.
But fortunately for Tim, he did manage to have just one incident that was still, in my opinion, excruciatingly boring, yet somehow aided right-wing media outlets like the Daily Wire in making claims like,
but it turns out Sweden really has become a stinking cesspool of violence.
And that was Tim's video getting escorted out of Rinkeby. Let's take a look, shall we?
The police have just warned us that if we don't leave now and take this escort, it's going to get really bad really fast. They said 50 people could be here in minutes, and they recognize us. They're masking up. We have to leave.
So local police did, in fact, go on to dispute Tim's claims of the event, and until now, I thought that the truth of what happened that day would forever be between Tim, the local police, and Zedu. But as it turns out, I have new behind-the-scenes facts to shed on this event, so...
This guy is sort of a cringe lefty. Trust me, I know. This guy's attacked me so much. We fought a ton. I hate this guy. But, hey, news is news.
Now I think it's time that we dig a little deeper.
I just want to see the full video.
Premium patrons roll across the screen. Dependent group with neo-Nazi talk actually led by the serials that help. While this video can be viewed as some sort of big Tim Pool dunk, what we're really looking at here is both the false narratives that people like Tim established. So, back to Rinkeby. Tim and making the event sound far more threatening than it initially was, and here are those differences.
But in Stockholm and Rinkeby, they immediately start yelling at us.
That while receiving the escort,
as we were walking, there were people following us, yelling things.
Oh, and finally, the police had said that irate flash mob of 50 masked people who were presumably sprinting there at an astonishing speed weren't empty-handed. Well, I'll let Tim explain.
And the cop says, well, look, maybe if we arrest one person, there'll be 50 more people here with stones.
So now they were going to be armed with stones. Our CGI team whipped up this little recreation that thankfully never occurred. Now, Tim's upload of this footage at a certain point just fast forwards and you can't hear or see really anything that's going on, but I happen to have the unedited version, and well, the footage just does not line up with what he's saying.
Wait, where... Am I not reading this? Where is the unedited version? Links to the full footage below. Do you have to go on his Patreon to see them? Never featuring highly embarrassing, never before seen footage courtesy of his camera woman. Support me on Patreon. Oh, I will be uploading the unedited versions of all the unposted videos discussed within. Check back soon for the link. Oh, fuck. 2021, so we didn't post it.
And here's something to keep in mind. Due to Tim's fast forwarding, you can't tell, but he actually attempts to summarize what had just occurred 3 more times. We can't play all of them, but here's one.
We have to get a police escort right now. We've been warned by them that it could get really dangerous if we don't leave right now from Rinkeby.
A total of 4, and you'd think he'd mention just one of the 4 of these things at least once, as they would be important details, but he doesn't. And again, to be crystal clear, it's primarily these elements of Tim's story that alternative right-wing media sites both highlighted and sensationalized, which in turn massively raised both Tim's profile and that of the series. So it's extremely important that we just really drill down on these key points. So, claim number 1, they were being followed. Watching this at normal speed, I'm just not seeing anyone following him. I don't think he's in mortal danger at any point whatsoever, although there was this one point earlier. Barring that, I've watched this several times, and the closest thing to anyone following him is this woman with a baby stroller right here. But to be perfectly fair, she does pop in here again later. Maybe Tim thought that she was in hot pursuit. That's terrifying. Who knows? Maybe he was paranoid that she was going to do this. But
what is this movie?
I'd say that the chances of that are relatively slim, so we'll call that claim debunked. Claim number 2, people were shouting things. So I've listened to this several times over, and the closest thing that I could hear to anyone yelling anything at Tim is this. Now I can see...
Destiny, you should do a little deep dive into how these negotiations between governments actually go. Retards like PBD make it seem like it's just Biden and Putin having this epic anime stare-down debate, which ends in the most alpha leader winning the negotiations, while in reality there's these teams of diplomats and officials on other sides. That's crazy, that Lucky Camper. I've never in my entire life done any significant studying of or digging into negotiations between adversarial parties or countries. I've never talked to actual diplomats or head negotiators that were involved in any of these things between two adversarial countries. I've never in my life. Thank you. I'll look into that. Thank you. True. I thought it was just two leaders that just went and they stared at each other, and whoever could maintain an erection the longest and have a hands-free orgasm at precisely 1 hour into the negotiations while maintaining their erection afterwards was the person that walked away the true alpha male champion winner. But thank you. I'll look into those.
How that might be terrifying. I mean, she's speaking a foreign language. For all he knows, she could be saying, I'm going to take a buzz onto your forehead and drink out of your skull like a goblet. But there's literally nothing else. I did take the liberty of hiring a dog with ultra-sensitive hearing. Unfortunately, he just sat around with an erection.
Honestly, I didn't.
Debunked! Claim number 3, they were immediately shouting at him when they arrived. So I will admit there is no shortage of shady-looking characters inside this sunlit outdoor shopping mall. Now, she recalls that corroborate this. It's possible that it did happen off camera, except I did speak with the segment's camera woman, and she recalls that literally only one thing was shouted, which was, "Who are you with?" And she said it was difficult to even decipher whether that was meant in a threatening tone at all. So yeah, that's kinda debunked. And finally, claim number 4, Tim's totally credible sounding claim that the police believe that at any second,
You know, maybe if we arrest one of these guys, there could be 50 more in a few minutes with stones.
sure, why not? I mean, if a horde of 50 mass irate refugees were suddenly going to appear, I guess presumably from their stronghold beneath this outdoor shopping mall, why wouldn't they first grab a stone from their stockpile of rocks? Yeah, super duper believable. Look, we don't have much to go on here. It's not fully debunkable, but I did speak to a few people in law enforcement, and no, this isn't like the dog penis thing. Yeah, they don't buy it. Talk with them. Why specifically, if they do an information report of these things happen, incident number, they didn't, and make sure that you've gotten to your...
I don't have time to dig into everything ever. When Tim Pool made these claims about Sweden, did he ever post any evidence of any of these stronger claims he's making anywhere at all? The police told them that 50 people could show up, or that there were people shouting at them or following them, or that was any of that ever proven? Like, did he post any proof of it ever at all, or...
car on foot and follow you out of the area. None of these things happen. Now, full disclosure, Tim's associate did say that the police recommended that they stop filming and leave. Probably because not everybody likes to be filmed, but Tim asked for the escort himself. He's said so numerous times.
The officer said if we make an arrest, there could be 50 people here with stones. And so I asked them, will you follow us out?
And, well, I don't doubt that they gave him some kind of extremely informal
Oh, so, okay, yeah.
escort towards his vehicle, but the idea that they genuinely believed he was in great danger, which Tim definitely wants you to believe,
And lock the doors and let's get the hell out of here.
it's just not at all supported by the video and the total lack of standard procedure that's evident within it. And for the record, the police remarked that this happened to be their typical route. Tim was going in the same direction, and this is where they normally park. All this was, in fact, confirmed by a Danish reporter who was living in the area at the time.
In the 4 days I've been in Rinkeby, I've seen the police drive the same route around the city all day long. That's the route Tim Pool happens to be taking. His car is parked at the local school, where police are driving over next door and parking, just like they usually do. It has nothing to do with Tim Pool.
And finally, I just have to mention this Swedish article that I came across that really made things fall into place for me. Tim is, I guess, a war reporter? A war reporter. He's discussed things like nearly being killed in Venezuela and many other supposedly deadly situations many times. Yet when Tim reaches his car and it doesn't start, this is his immediate reaction.
Wait, the car is not starting.
Did they disable your car?
No, it is.
Okay, we really
What?
need to unpack that reaction because I think it's incredibly telling. And you know what? Let's steelman all of this. Let's say for the sake of the argument that this angry mob with stones in hand did in fact exist.
Who's they?
Men were following him, shouting crazy things, all of it, okay? For this moment to be anything but pure theatrics, we still have to believe that Tim actually thought that they somehow identified his car, which was parked well over a 1/10 of a mile away. I Google Earthed and Google Mapped this shit, so I know what I'm talking about. That cracked out looking thing, that's the police car. This area right here is where Tim walked through with those crazy quasi-Nazi dudes, and then crossed all the way from here to here to here, crossed through this intersection. At this point, we passed well over 200 meters. That's nearly a 1/13 of a mile. He then continued at least another 25 meters into the parking lot. See that? That is the D1 building, and if we zoom out, I presume that ready to...
Did they disable your car?
Remember, folks, this entire set of lies that we have painstakingly gone through, they didn't just enable far right-wing outlets to make a case that Sweden is a stinking cesspool of violence and, like, rapistan or whatever. In the eyes of his fans, that all made him look heroic, and I want you to take a mental note of that because we're going to circle back to that later. And Cortez, you're totally making me lose my concentration. Never mind, end part 1.
But I don't know what to do with those tossed salads and scrambled eggs. They're calling again.
Do you think the politicians here are aware that they're making weapons, which is creating refugees?
Yes.
Are they
The politician is working for the factories, the weapon factory. First of all, you sell these weapons for these countries. You make these wars down there.
You get the resources from the country. You use the people to come here as a cheap working class people, and everything about is about harvesting.
It's really complex. What some of the activists down there told me is that, and this is more of a conspiracy, but just to give the perspective of the hard left in Sweden, and they're really left because Sweden's already left,
right.
Is that Sweden builds weapons. They then sell them, to NATO, to other countries, to dictators, and then the United States, NATO, we bomb these countries and destroy their communities, and then Sweden welcomes in the refugees as sort of a surplus of that war, a reward.
Oh, dude, fuck me. It's in a way, it's kind of like it's kind of like when I was talking about the simulacrum thing. You make up a fake claim, you refer back to the fake claim like it's real. The fake claim that is referred back to, that was just you originally making the fake claim, becomes part of like the common vernacular, and now it's like sourced as evidence for some other thing. That simulacrum thing that I referred to it's kind of talked about here in like how Russia does disinformation, and you kind of sort of see it here with Tim Pool. This idea that so you'd start with an official government communication. I don't know if this step even happened. I don't even know if you needed this one for the government to say. I guess maybe a government. Well, this is assuming. I think that for the Russia pillar of disinformation, this is assuming that every single stage here is kind of working to further the misinformation. So I don't think Sweden is trying to further misinformation about itself. I don't know if another country talked about like the rape zones or the no-go zones. I'm sure somebody did. You get state-funded global messaging. So this would be like RT making statements. I'm sure that if you look at like RT, Sweden, rape gangs, I'm sure that you can find like Russia RT talking about like the rape gangs. Okay. No rapists on our streets. Hundreds, mostly women, rally in Sweden, demand action over gang rapes. So you can find the state-funded global messaging, cultivation of proxy sources. So you've got Russia-aligned outlets with global reach, and then weeding proliferators of Russian narratives. So this would be the Tim Pool part where he comes and he does his thing, right? And then weaponization of social media would be him tweeting about it, doing everything afterwards, and then Dave Rubin would also qualify under would he count as a proxy source or a weaponization of social media? I think Dave Rubin would totally fall under this part here. Cyber-enabled disinformation is not a part of this here, but. It's just interesting that you can kind of like see that model play out in real time. I don't know if this had anything to do if there's like any tie to like Russian anything here, but you can see like the way that these like disinformation models work is pretty similar to the way that I can play about Vosh and the simulacrum thing, how people make up stuff about me, or how Tim Pool, I guess, is making up shit here. Yeah.
Ward. You bring these people in, and they will bolster your economy by creating a cheap workforce. That's what they believe.
Right.
And
he's citing authoritatively a few people that he spoke to in a bar. These weren't like big political leaders or like prolific authors or writers. These were just like people in a restaurant that he was chatting with, right?
That Sweden builds weapons. They then sell them, to NATO, to other countries, to dictators, and then the United States, NATO, we bomb these countries and destroy their communities, and then Sweden welcomes in the refugees as sort of a surplus of that war, a reward. You bring these people in, and they will bolster your economy by creating a cheap workforce.
Like what we've just asserted there is something that demands so much attention and more detail, right? You're claiming that Sweden is manufacturing weapons because they know that they can benefit from third world countries getting bombed by NATO, and then people from Libya are immigrating up to Sweden to help their workforce? Or I guess it would be Syria for this time period, despite the fact that Sweden has historically had a horrendous time integrating these immigrants into their workforce. Like what happened? What fucked up if they're not even using them for their workforce, right?
That's what they believe.
Right.
And
even though what you're saying is there's really not a lot of evidence for that.
Of course not. It's a conspiracy.
Yeah.
So, Tim Pool just really dropping some high-level batshit extremist group conspiracy-level ideas there on Rubin Report.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I got an email about the Tim Pool thing. PC build suggestions. I think turning off the RAM thing actually helped me. I got an invite to talk to a guy called Russell Quirk in the UK on Talk TV. Do you know who this guy is, Russell Quirk, or what Talk TV is in the United Kingdom? Russell Quirk on GB News saying 40% of all social housing in London is occupied by people not born in the United Kingdom based. Okay. If Slater was brown, would you be saying the same? Jesus. $1440 to $1500. Your time to talk about Donald Trump. 20 minutes? Fuck that. That's not even worth it. Never mind. Are you still good with Chud? I have no idea. I don't know anything about what Chud Logic does, or supposedly people say that he covers me very unfavorably. But I don't know. I truly have no idea. Am I going to react to the Leon Lush video? I don't know who that guy is, and if he made a video about me, especially if he's a conservative, usually it's just them soy raging. I can't believe you say that! Like, does he say anything of substance? 28-minute video. I'll give him 3 timestamps. We'll do 2 minutes.
Funny to see him in a meme here. Secondly, the slightly sloped roof thing. Apparently, from what I understand, one of the reasons that the Secret Service director stated as why that roof wasn't better secured was because it was sloped, and that would have been dangerous for the agents.
So we wouldn't want to put somebody up on a sloped roof, and so the decision was made to secure the building from inside.
Listen, I'm room temp IQ at best. I'm not the one making these decisions.
Okay, so we've got kind of conspiratorial stuff about the assassin was staged, or there was some kind of conspiracy there. Okay, cool. Let's do 10 minutes. Let's see what we got here.
So you can stay barely abreast of every hot partisan issue in the news cycle. People mistake you talking fast with intelligence for some reason, but you are simply a parasite with negative testosterone that is...
Oh, he's talking about me. Okay, we've got the talking fast because he's a Neanderthal. Negative testosterone because he's insecure about his masculinity, so he feels the need to attack mine. What else do we got?
Expert at nothing, except LARPing is some sort of thought leader in a space where all you have to do...
Calls me an expert at nothing. Himself is probably literally fucking retarded. I wonder what his most popular videos are. What kind of research are we doing here? Okay, we're reacting to booby girls. Entitled Rat Gets What She Deserves. Calling out YouTube's soda chugging champion. Okay, so true intellectual. This YouTuber loves cigarettes more than anyone. Okay.
Is be the loudest moron in the room in order to farm attention. Congratulations. Don't get too...
Well, thanks for giving it to me, I guess.
Worked up now, because there's plenty of conservative pundits I would say the same shit about. In fact, we're going to talk about one real quick after this word from today's video sponsor.
Ooh, there are other conservative pundits he'll call out. Okay, interesting. I wonder if it's going to be somebody that doesn't support Trump or somebody that does. Let's find out. Let's see. I have no idea what those guys' political views are, so I truly don't. I have no idea.
Flavored air. Hear me out. Flavored videos that is via the rings is to those I code Leon. That's try today. Most. So much for listening. I appreciate you. Next up, we have some brainworms from the Libs of TikTok Twitter account, one of the most controversial partisan accounts on Twitter with over 3 million followers, recently retweeted and endorsed by Elon Musk. If your life is politics, you either love Libs of TikTok or you hate them. If you're just a normal pleb like me, you watch some shit come up in your feed sometimes, and sometimes it's funny and sometimes it's lame.
Okay, this is a pretty easy W. This is a pretty easy W to just say, like, Libs of TikTok is really bad. We probably shouldn't be celebrating doxing people. Okay, that's a pretty. This should be like the easiest baseline. Are you like a real live decent human being? Should be really easy. Okay, let's see.
And you read the comments occasionally because you like to watch the world burn. But here's the deal. After this whole thing that happened this week, obviously there's been a lot of people on social media that are not big Trump fans that have said some unsavory shit about the event. Like, oh, I wish the shooter didn't miss, or the shooter should have better aim. It's all like, these jokes about what could have been or what would have been if he didn't turn his head and, have the bullet miss his head by half an inch. Which is, first of all, it's fucking crazy to think that an inch, little head turn just completely changed the course of history. Where would we be right now if the back of his head...
I love you, Tiny, but this thing you're doing with skimming through thumbnails and making assessments is kind of washy. So, 1, you're permabanned, okay? Number 2, his criticism of me is that I have low testosterone and I speak too quickly, okay? I'm not going to do a 15-hour assessment to see if this guy is a fucking thought leader, okay? Drink bleach. Listen, like, he might be a smart dude. I don't know. I literally said at the beginning of this, I said, I'm going to just skip through to 3 different timestamps and listen and like have a quick like assessment of him. That's it. I'm not like making an overall evaluation ruling on like what kind of content creator is, how smart is he actually. That's all. I'm just going through 3 timestamps, see what comes up. That's it. Okay. If you don't like it, get the fuck out, leave. I literally am qualifying this right before I fucking say it. If you can't understand that, why the fuck are you in my channel? Okay. If you're that fucking retarded, go listen to some conservative. Okay. Or Vosh.
Got blown off it's just insane. Just been a wild fucking week. Been a lot of patriotism going on. It's just, we've seen kind of a seismic shift in the rhetoric in what's going on in the country. But one thing that came from this, obviously, is conservatives who have been kind of felt this sort of resurgence in patriotism and all these things, which is great. They are now kind of employing the same tactics that they typically cry about the left using on people that have said unsavory things about their safety.
Oh, that's good. Okay. He passed the bare minimum threshold to be a respectable human being, and he's condemning the Libs of TikTok account. Nice job.
You're Donald Trump. For instance.
Are you Darcy Waldron? Yeah? Okay, from Cayuga? And you think that the shooter should have been a better shot? Is that what you posted on Facebook?
I am at work.
You think that the shooter should have been a shooter, huh?
I am at work.
Yeah, I think that's pretty messed up. Pretty anti-American, if you ask me. As a veteran, I'm disgusted. What have you provided to this country? Huh? I'm sorry. This is ridiculous. You are...
Just as a heads up, clip me on this one, Piers, for the next one, okay? Do I have a camera scene? Hello, I'm speaking to you, United States Military Forces veteran. If you were upset about the way that people exercise their freedom of speech in the United States, then you served in the wrong military. Go find another country's military to serve in. You have no fucking idea what this country was founded on. You don't know what the fuck you even defending in the military, okay? And the idea that you would waste your life in active or reserve or whatever fucking duty and then come back and be so fucking mad at how people are choosing to exercise their First Amendment right, which is part of the Constitution, which is part of what you supposedly pledged to protect, means that you're so far gone. You're so fucking deranged and stupid, okay? You don't deserve any respect for being a veteran, okay? You're so stupid. You're so beyond fucking stupid. How can you get upset at somebody for exercising a freedom that ostensibly you serve to protect?
Ridiculous. And I'm making you famous.
And I'm making you famous. So this woman working a minimum wage job, checking out people at Home Depot, posted to her personal favorite. Too bad they weren't a better shoot, right? Probably been that type of thing. That same type of rhetoric has been said by tons of people. I'm not saying I like that or that I agree with it or that I think it's a smart thing to say. But you mean to tell me this dude traveled across the state, found this woman at her job to approach her and make her famous on his phone? Like, what happened to like the free speech thing? What happened to the second, like what happened to anti-censorship? Don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of this woman. I probably wouldn't get along with her. Not a fan of people saying stupid shit like that on the internet. But what are we doing? You're doing exactly the same thing that the people you always criticize try to do to you. I've always been in the camp that whatever side of the fence you're on, if you get mad at the other side for saying something mean to the point where you go on a witch hunt and try to get them fired from their jobs and ruin their life because they said some shit on Facebook, that just makes me think you're a fucking baby. Look at this guy. MAGA Swag says, as a contractor who spends about $2,500 a week at Home Depot, I am demanding that she be fired or I'll take my business to Menards and Lowe's.
Do you think he's a real account? I don't know if I trust any of these accounts now.
I'm demanding! Bruh. You...
I wonder what his audience says about this. Whoa, the dude who ditched his child from his young marriage. I wasn't ever married to Nathan's mom, but okay. And then try to act like a dating life coach. Definitely never done that in my life. In an open relationship that ended in a nasty divorce is unhinged. Actually, our divorce is pretty easy. $1,000, in and out. Boom, boom. Easier than Steven Crowder's traditional tradcon marriage. Who could have seen it coming? Did anybody here comment on the Libs of TikTok thing? Damn, it's all just about me. Yes. Getting escorted out of the no-go zone.
over here you have another parking lot and a road down. So it's like an area which is the main, where people are walking. So there's a few blocks with houses, so to speak. Where did we go wrong? No, we went all the other way around now. Because when I went here the other day when it was riots, it was, I have to think, there were police coming in this way, but you can't really drive here because you see they got this stopping cars. So they get from that way in, and they were looting the stores here. I think they have repaired most of it, but they were looting, the stores and.
That guy talking is called Chang Frick and is famously a Russian disinfo shill. Who, this guy?
That's fast. I repaired them already. Yeah, they do it very quick because they have this theory. If you have an abandoned house and you break one window, it would go very quick and everything will be.
Broken windows theory. Yeah, started in New York.
And I think that people always is talking about this, that when you look at the cafe.
It's so funny. This is or maybe they're not there yet, I guess, but like this, because I've been to Malmo before. I've been to Sweden a lot. And it's just so funny listening to like people talking about like the crazy, insane no-go zones. And it's like, this is it. This is your insane, wild fucking no-go zones.
You only see guys, you don't see any girls. They are keeping away from the cafes. Yeah, that's one of the, which has been a discussion in social media, and there are some feminists living in these areas, which are immigrants, and they have been, this doesn't work.
Meanwhile, West Hollywood at night. I wonder if you can see crazy. Jesus, are these faces even real? Fuck, there's too many people here. Give me my homeless screaming people. Wait, WeHo is where the stars are, right? Or is that just Hollywood proper? What city are Hollywood stars in? I lived in LA-ish for like 3 years and I still don't know like all the different cities. Fuck this place. Look up Skid Row. No, shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! If you want to talk about like crazy homeless people in LA, you don't have to go to Skid Row. That's bullshit. They're under every single underpass or overpass. Every single overpass has homeless people. And in a lot of the cities, you can go to fucking Santa Monica, you can go to Venice Beach for sure today. You can do LA proper downtown. You don't have to go to Skid Row. That's the most touristy, like you've never been to even California your entire life thing to say, okay? Don't shut the fuck up. Oh yeah, homeless people in Cal. Have you ever been to Skid Row? You don't have to go to Skid Row, bro. You can go in basically any major city downtown at night and you will see crazy fucking homeless people in the LA County area, okay? Fuck off with the Skid Row shit. It's not true. You don't have to go to Skid Row to find them, okay? Fuck. One of the craziest encounters I had was I thought it was West Hollywood is where the stars were. I don't remember, but it was Walking Along the Stars. Holy shit, there are a lot of crazy people outside at night in the LA area. I don't even know if it's all LA. Listen, if you live in anywhere around here, I just say I live in LA. Even when I lived in Glendale, I said, oh yeah, I'm from LA, whatever.
A vacant home in an upscale neighborhood in Southern California.
Okay, wait, stop. We're getting. What happened? It's just I don't know if they're schizophrenic or what, but it's like psychotic homeless people. They'll just walk up to you, they'll start like screaming at you, and then they just kind of like walk away, or they'll be screaming in your direction, but they're not really looking at you. They're crazy. Their tether with reality has been severed. Okay, they are insane.
It's getting, I think he's hiding his face.
Yeah, I saw. Just been warned by the police that if we don't leave now.
Feel him with the police car.
Yeah. The police have just warned us that if we don't leave now and take this escort now.
Wait.
I think he's hiding his face.
This is a huge red flag. You're telling me that the police came up and warned you of something while you guys are actively filming and you don't have it on camera? Why did you cut here?
Yeah, I saw. We've just been warned by the police that if we don't leave now.
Film him with the police car.
Yeah. The police have just warned us that if we don't leave now and take this escort, it's going to get really bad really fast. They said.
Look at how dangerous and scary this place looks. Fucking Sweden, okay? My God, it's about to get rough in here.
50 people could be here in minutes, and they recognize us. They're masking up. We have to leave.
They're masking up. So they've walked up to a random police van and pretended they've just spoke to them. Yeah, they walked up to this police van who just does like patrol, which is crazy because I thought no-go zones, the police weren't allowed. But they walked up to this van that does patrol and they asked them, hey, can you like escort us out? And then they go to the camera and they say, oh, the cops just told us they have to escort us out because shit's about to get lit up in here. Shit's about to get lit in here. By the way, the dude he's talking to owns an actual right-wing news site. His name is Chang Frick. Okay.
What's that? Yeah.
That Scott Swaggerty guy on Twitter from the Leon Lush videos reposting the same image 4+ times in a row. Wait, what? Maybe that's not... This might not be bot behavior, though. Maybe... I just said that, but maybe these are real people who are just weird. Ultra MAGA, Cleveland Browns fan, Desert Storm veteran, liberal Marxist likely to be blocked. Oh no, don't do this to me. Oh no, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Okay, it's only on Twitter. He only does... Okay, he made his own banner. Picture not found anywhere else besides here on Twitter. Okay, sometimes people post... We've got same image stuff popping up a little bit. Maybe he just decided to have an unhinged moment. Maybe he just had a moment. Maybe. January 21st, 2024. Where's the danger? That's what you needed the police escort for? Hold on, even watching the video, even watching this, and I understand I'm allowed to play hindsight a little bit because I know that this is bullshit, but like, it's clearly fake, right? Why did you cut the video when you went to talk to the cops? Why did you cut the video here?
If we don't leave...
He's hiding his face, you see?
Yeah, it's
We've just been warned by the police that if we don't leave now...
Why would you cut the video there? And then also, so you needed a police escort to get out of here, right? You're asking, okay? You're asking for a police escort. They only escorted you... Hold on. What is this, like 150 meters? That was your police escort? Through what? What are they protecting you from? It was Vadim or whatever. He was right. We got the baby in the carriage, the stroller. Oh, she is kind of following, actually. Ooh, uh-oh. We got to... Oh my God, look at how horrifying this no-go zone square is. Jesus fucking Christ. All hell is about to break loose here. Shit is about to hit the fucking fan. My God. Look at how crazy this place is. It's unhinged. It's insane how it's on fire. Oh, wait, hold on. The police continue to give them a close escort after they're walking here. Okay. But they maintain distance so that the terrorists can reveal themselves. Oh, no, wait, they don't even. The police are just leaving. They're just going somewhere else. Never mind. They're just walking in the same direction.
So, even the police have big problems in this area. You see that the police are following us because it was trying to follow them. Yeah. So you get, and this is the middle of the day.
So it's the middle of the day.
Yeah. Police are following.
The police are following us because we're being followed. The police have warned us that if we don't leave now, things are going to get bad. They said within minutes, 50 people could be here. Because we're being...
Those police right there are following you? These police right here?
Followed. The police have warned us that if we don't leave now, things are going to get bad. They said within minutes, 50 people could be here. And lock the doors and let's get the hell out of here.
The car is not... Wait, the car is not starting.
Did they disable your car?
Did they disable your car? Bro.
No, it is. they will wait for us to see that we... Because the police recognized who I was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Destiny has never been anywhere that would make him uncomfortable. Sitting behind your 10K setup does nothing for the world. Bro, I was, not to dick whatever, but I literally just spent 2 weeks in Israel, okay? I went to Hebron. I went to Ramallah. We tried to sneak in through gates to get into Nablus. It went to East Jerusalem. I mean, what do you want me to say? I didn't go to fucking Gaza City. What do you want me to say? Where do you want me to go? I lived in LA for 3 years. Jesus. Not that that means anything, because you can live in a city your whole life and never go to a dangerous area. By the way, that was a bot.
I gotta say.
Did you go to the West Bank? Yes, the 3 cities I just described are in the West Bank. Yes.
Hey man, Malmo was the wrong city to choose. Okay, one more time. We went into Rinkaby thinking nothing would happen. The police.
Nothing did happen. What? Nothing actually happened. Nothing actually happened.
We were talking to the police about what's going on, and they said, yeah, there's more police here. The officer, he told us that, he felt he could do good by being in this community. They didn't want to go on camera because of the politics. So I wanted to just follow up and do a video talking about what happened today, because it kind of threw us for a loop, and, I'll just sort of pick up where the video just left off. We had no plans to go to Rinkaby, okay? We had no plans. We were not prepared.
What does Sweden think about? Ever since 2013, conservatives have been saying Sweden is on fire and is fucked and it's being destroyed and there's all these no-go zones. If you go to Malmo, do you ever see the pictures I posted with Nim? We were in Malmo. That was Malmo. Yeah, people just say that it's a horrible place. There is an increase in crime in Sweden, okay? And it is an issue with immigrant populations and with gang-related stuff. That's undeniably true. And in my opinion, I don't like it when religious populations throw violent protests over book burnings. As an American, I think you should be able to burn whatever the fuck book you want. There's some guy who's I think he's either Danish or Norwegian. No, I think he's Danish, or he might be Dutch. But he always comes up every year to Sweden to burn a fucking Quran, and he's like an instigator. But then the Muslims will act out; they'll go crazy. They'll start throwing riots and shit. But in general, it's a pretty safe place. It's just funny because Sweden has 100 homicides a year, the entire country. And I'm pretty sure Chicago probably has 400? I don't know. Chicago homicides yearly. Okay. Jesus, my bad. 600 or 700 or 800? One-fourth the population and 6 times. It's just crazy. People present Sweden as this place that's just burning to the ground.
Not planning on doing anything. We had met up with Chang because we had heard he was potentially an interesting or controversial figure, and such in doing any.
Google Sweden yearly homicides. Number of homicides 2015. So yeah, about 110 to 120 for the entire country of Sweden. And the country's burning to the ground. It's just again, not to say that there aren't problems, but my God.
Journalism. We're going to reach out to as many people as possible. And Chang showed us lots of footage from in the no-go zones. And so, look, if we're going to go into these areas that we're told are dangerous, it's always good to have someone who knows the area. We decided to, we had a few minutes, and we said, why don't we just swing by there and just scope it out and do a quick walk around. It was not our intention to go there. Our camera's not particularly large. Let me just show you the camera that we use, right? So this is the Canon XF105. It's relatively small, right? So I just want to make sure that I'm getting an accurate view of this camera so you can see what we're working with. So how big my hand is, right? This is me holding the camera, right? We hold it down at our side. I will be totally blunt and say I absolutely acknowledge that walking around the camera makes it obvious that that you're filming, you're press or something. I don't particularly feel like I don't fit in a lot of areas. I was actually told by several people I probably would be just fine. Emily did her best. She held the camera down at her side for the most part, as you saw in the footage.
What did he just say?
Or something. I don't particularly feel like I don't fit in a lot of areas. I was actually told by several people I probably would be just fine. Emily did her best. She held the camera down at her side for the most part, as.
Yeah, I saw.
We've just been warned by the police that if we don't leave now.
Feel him with the police car.
Yeah.
I saw.
We've just been warned by the police that if we don't leave now.
Feel him with the police car.
Yeah. I wanted to talk to some locals and just ask them what life was like. Maybe see if they would be willing to do an interview. Your press or something. I don't particularly feel like I don't fit in a lot of areas. I was actually told by several people I probably would be just fine. Emily did her best. She held the camera down at her side for the most part, as you saw in the footage. We tried our best to make sure we weren't filming people. We even saw that there were police in Rinkeby, and we genuinely thought that nothing will happen, just like in Malma in Rosengard, nothing will happen, and that we could go into this area and just show, like, here's what it's like. I wanted to talk to some locals and just ask them what life was like.
Is this malicious lying or pure retardation? This is malicious. This is malicious lying. He's lying about what he caught on camera. He should have gotten somebody to stage an attack or something, because he recorded video footage and nothing happened. It was the most tame, nothing. I don't even want to say it was the most tame. Like, I'm implying there was like some like manageable level of violence regression. It was a bunch of people with baby strollers walking around in like an outdoor strip mall. Like
maybe see if they would be willing to do an interview. We saw that the police were there. And so I'm really thinking, okay, look, we're going to walk in, there's people shopping, it's a market center. This is the last place I expect anything to happen. And sure enough,
we really thought that people were walking around. It's a shopping center. This is the last place anything would happen. Well, I mean, it depends on what type of crime you're talking about. But I mean, isn't this where you would expect people to rob and steal things from? But I don't even know what the purpose of this comment is.
I walk in, there's people shopping, it's a market center. Okay. This is the last place I expect anything to happen.
Or maybe he's saying as opposed to like walking through like a gang neighborhood where you're like in an actual ghetto or something. Maybe, I guess.
And sure enough, we filmed a couple things, as you saw. And
did you not know about this before you went on a show? No, I haven't looked up this stupid shit that he's involved in.
Decided to talk to the police. I didn't know if they spoke English, but one of the officers recognized me. I had a pretty good conversation with him. He said, immigrants, they might be, they're overrepresented in crime. These poor areas, they have more crime. But he told me he felt like they could do a lot of good there, and that it was, something he liked doing. They told us there was a concert happening later areas, they have more crime. But he told me he felt like they could do a lot of good there, and that it was, something he liked doing. They told us there was a concert happening later that night, and it was all very interesting. I asked him about no-go zones. Are these real things? Because we hear that they don't exist. And he said, well, like, there's problem areas that refer to where they can't go in unless they have at least 2 units, because one cop will watch the other cop. And that's the gist of the conversation. I look over, and Cheng and another officer were speaking. They, gave me one of these, like, come over here. And I walked over, and, there were several men. They started,
Dustin, will you ever address the allegations that you ask someone for pics of them at 10 years old? Don't ban me. I love your channel, and I know it's false. It's not false, okay? This person at 10 years old is the hottest 10-year-old. It's literally public tweets. I know Courtney. Well, I don't know her super well, but Courtney's like in my community. Yeah, we're fucking around and public tweets. It's fucking retarded. If I was asking somebody for pictures of them at 10 years old, why the fuck would I tweet this publicly? Obviously, she's never sent me pictures of her at 10 years old. You're unhinged.
They were pulling up masks on their faces. One guy, he throws a hood over his head, and we had noticed this. We started.
Wait.
There were several men. They started, were speaking. Watch the other cop, and.
Hold on, no, he wasn't about. I'm sorry. I saw the hand thing. He's not about to say he saw several men speaking into like fucking earpieces, right? He wasn't about to say that. No shot was he about to say that. No shot. He was not about to say that. No way.
That's the gist of the conversation. I look over, and Cheng and another officer were speaking. They, gave me one of these, like, come over here. And I walked over, and there were several men. They started, they were pulling up masks on their faces. One guy, he throws a hood over his head, and we had no.
Oh, no, okay. He just said they were pulling the masks up. Okay, thank God. That's still cringe, though. Where were they? You didn't catch any of these people on camera? Bro, we secretly recorded the IDF throwing us out of Yitzhar. And these guys had assault rifles on them, and it was a crazy fucking settler dude. Didn't we watch this video on stream? You're telling me that you couldn't record a video of any of these people? You can get them anywhere on camera? You got a cop vehicle right next to you, and you couldn't record any of these people?
What is this? We started kind of getting, okay, what's happening? The officer said that, hey, have you noticed what people are doing around you? If we leave in a few minutes, it might be very bad for you, so it might be smart for you to, to go. And I, and then I was like, we should leave. Like, are you saying maybe we should just go to a car? He's like, that's my tip for you, maybe. And I said, okay. And the cop said, look, maybe if we arrest one of these guys, there could be 50 more in a few minutes with stones. And I was like, okay, so we should just go to the car. And he said, yes. And
I don't believe any of this conversation. I don't think any of this conversation happened. I don't believe it. I think it was all bullshit. Or I think he's like doing bits and pieces. You know what? Actually, I bet that like 70% of what he's saying was said by the cop, but I bet it was like bits and pieces of like truth. Like he might ask like, oh, has anything ever happened here before? And like, yeah, we've had issues sometimes, one time, we went to arrest a guy and a bunch of their friends showed up and like people, somebody threw a stone around and he's like, yeah, 50 people will show up with stones. And he's, yeah, 100%.
And then I said, are you going to follow us out? What are you? And he said, I think that would be a smart idea, and so the police got in the car and they followed us out. And that's what happened. They followed us behind us. As I posted in the 2 videos, we made our way to our vehicle. We left. It was very strange because to me it's almost nothing, but something. I don't know how to explain it. Now I want to address some of the news stories that have come out. If you look in some of the press about the story, I'll say this first. I think that the Swedish press did their best to get an understanding of what happened. They took my side of what I said happened and showed my tweets and got a statement from me, and they took a statement from the police spokespeople. Now the police spokespeople are denying that they told us to leave and that they gave us an escort. And to that, I'll just say this. First of all, to the journalists, it's kind of difficult to get both sides of the story when you're talking.
Okay, hold on. I understand there's a lot of people saying there was a 60 Minutes journalist who was harassed and attacked on camera by locals. That's great. We're not talking about them right now. We're talking about Tim Pool. I don't know why you're posting. I don't know why any of you are bringing this up. That's not relevant. That's not what Tim Pool is doing right now. Is he's lying. If you want to say, if Tim Pool wanted to say, we know that somebody else has attacked us, we want to see what happened, and nothing happened to us, that's fine. I don't know why you retarded fucks are saying, well, actually, 60 Minutes. That's fine. That's not what we're watching right now, and that's not what happened to Tim Pool. So I don't know why you keep bringing that up.
To a spokesperson, not the actual officers involved. That's hearsay. So it's kind of strange to have a third party speaking on the behalf of some other people, someone who wasn't actually there and doesn't actually know what happened. In terms of their statement, well, the police are absolutely in their right to say it was not an escort. When the police say that it would be a smart idea for them to follow us out and to our car because we are being followed and there are several people who are pulling up their masks, I call that an escort. I think many reasonable people do.
No, an escort is when the police are specifically watching and guarding you and telling you that they're like keeping tabs on you, not just like, oh yeah, well, like.
Right to say it was not an escort. When the police say that it would be a smart idea for them to follow us out and to our car because we are being followed and there are several people.
They didn't even really follow you to your car. They walked you like down the fucking, I don't even want to call it an alley. They just walked you to like the street corner.
People who are pulling up their masks. I call that an escort.
Where was anybody pulling up their masks in that video?
I think many reasonable people do. But look, it is what it is. I don't know what happened or why it happened. I really don't know if there was danger, just that we were advised there was. There's an old saying that you don't get scared on an airplane unless the flight attendant is getting scared. And so if I go into an area and I see the police looking agitated saying, maybe you should go, then I'm kind of like, okay, these cops probably know what they're talking about. We better get out of here. And I'm asked by many of the journalists, will I go back? And I don't know. Here's my question. We went there. We encountered a tense situation, potentially dangerous, people yelling at us.
Is there another video of people yelling at them? Was there another video that he posted from Sweden?
Would it be irresponsible for us to then go back into the situation knowing what happened? I don't know. So maybe we...
Bro, kill me. Oh my God.
Will, because we're journalists and that's our job. Maybe we won't. But I will also say one more thing. The police said that we were filming a group of teenagers. This is according to the spokesperson. We were filming a group of teenagers and that they informed us that some people don't like being filmed without their permission. To that I'll say, look in the footage. We were filming ourselves. We tried our best to not film people because we were trying to avoid a situation like this. But you know what?
Aren't you there to film, like, to go what's going on? What do you mean you're trying to just film yourself? Isn't the whole point to go there and to film what's happening? Like, I mean, I guess you're not like focusing on other people, but
forget all that. Because is this normal that you can't go into a center of a neighborhood, a marketplace, and do journalism? Is that normal?
Yes, that's incredibly normal. Yes. What? A lot of people don't like being on fucking camera. Does anybody remember the legendary? Does anybody remember the legendary fucking Oh my God. Oh, I think this was in Malmo. I wonder how much footage she has of us being outside. Fuck, where were we? Is it Denmark? Fuck. What's the restaurant? Remember the lady who stopped you in the US with Reckful? Yes. This has to be on YouTube somewhere. Was it in Copenhagen? Steele's girlfriend, nice. Damn, look at that short hair. Wait, it's this one, hold on. Oh, good one. Destiny, I know it was on LSF. Destiny Molina, outside, eating, filming.